There's an old rule of thumb with brake drums. It's another day here at Freeman's Garage working on the abandoned 1956 Tri-5 Chevy. We're wrapping up our single circuit to dual circuit brake system upgrade. What I'm trying to say is we're kind of wrapping up the brake stuff and preparing the transition into the next phase with this Tri-5 project. But first I want to take a minute to say thank you to the veterans. Today is Veterans Day. If it wasn't for you voluntarily giving up your rights and freedoms to protect them for others and putting your life on hold for however many years you did and leaving your friends and family, I wouldn't be working on this car right now and nobody would be in the easy chair watching this. Whether you're a veteran or your mother is, your father is, your grandparents, brother, sister, uncle, third cousin twice removed, if it's you or whoever it is, thank you. Everything's still here from the last time we worked on this car together, covered and aligned and ready to rock and roll. We built and assembled all brand new brake lines and hoses from the very front of the car, all the way to the back, and then coming across the rear axle here, we ran out of train track right at the end. We just got that one left to do. It was all because of my screw up a couple videos earlier. I need to be very careful that if the screwdriver slips, I don't ram my arm into this razor sharp edge from where we cut the trunk floor out. There we go. Thank you, comically large screwdriver. Everything's a hammer. We'll do my little trick I like to do so that you don't kink and ruin the brake line when you try to straighten it out. I like a sturdy workbench or a concrete floor is best. Try to straighten this old line out as much as we can to make our hack measurement here as close as possible. And now if you want to copy the bends of the line that you're replacing, make sure you make note of all that before you straighten it out. But not worried about that here because it's very simple along the axle housing. Nothing complicated going on. I was just going to lay the old line next to the new line and cut it to fit, adding a little bit for the bends and for the flares on the end. But it's not quite that simple because this girl was attached right here and then we were missing a chunk on the end, so we got to add that on as well. So we'll set the line kind of back in where it was, and this dang fuel line keeps falling down. Maybe if I give her a little... There we go. Alright, so let's move the parking brake cable out of the way, and then we'll see approximately what we need here. So maybe another 6 inches. Okay, so we're measuring out at, I would call that 34 plus 6, so we need 40. Just to get a second opinion, if you measure it out very rough like this, you can see 40 would be enough. It looks like 40 inches will work, but we'll add 5 and cut it at 45 just so that we don't come up short. And 45 isn't too much. We shouldn't be wasting more than a couple of inches. We could also not even cut this line and put a fitting on that end and flare it and thread it into the wheel cylinder and start bending it off of there and working our way over. And that way you can make sure that you don't waste any line, but that gets kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Cumbersome? Okay. we'll call that 45 inches. It doesn't have to actually be 45 inches. You can just call it that. Because numbers aren't real. They're fake. They're not found in nature. They're just something man created. Nobody's ever been walking through the forest and stumbled upon a number 3 tree. We won't be needing any more of this today. Get on in here. I was just about to cue the time lapse and the royalty-free track, and then I thought, why do I always sit on the floor? I've got 4,000 buckets. Most of them got holes in them, but still something to sit on. But the guy would either have to crawl under or over one extra time, and actually I don't even know what I'm talking about. Cue the time lapse and the royalty-free track. Alright, not bad. Put our 3/16 fitting on because we're using 3/16 line. And there we go. Let's thread this baby in and figure out where to make the first bend. Alright, so in you go to your home. We don't need to tighten you down all the way. Just make sure you're in there. And now we start the bending game. Okay, so now all we gotta do is bend her away from there over to here. Not complicated, but if we screw it up, we're gonna waste this whole piece and a whole bunch of time. I'm wondering how much we're actually going to even need to use the tube bender, because we could just pick this up and set it in there, because we want to use everything factory we can. So we want to bend it so that we can use these factory clips. Now if we do that from here over here, that's pretty simple. We might not even need to use the tubing bender to just do a slight bend, which I could do it right now. But back over here at the beginning where we want to start, it's a little bit more complicated. I mean, we could possibly bend this down by hand. I need to think about it for a quick second. I think it would be safe to start by just using our hand to kind of put this where we want it. Just being careful as we go. You know, this is the type of thing that you could get done in 60 seconds. But, I mean, do you want to, you know, the faster you do it, the more risk you take of screwing it up. Kind of like when you're shooting in a game of pool. The harder you hit the ball, the smaller the pocket gets. Okay, I think we need a little bit more bendage up near the flare. Just very gently, just a little bit at a time. Don't want to get too rambunctious. In fact, that might have went too far. Yep, and now I just made things more complicated and time consuming because, you know, we've learned this lesson before. In fact, we've learned it many moons ago, as they say. So what happened was, here's my excuse, when I went to put where are you, little guy? When I went to put our tool on to bend the line, this fitting slipped down and it went off the other end of the line and hit the floor, and I was about to bend down and pick it up and thought, just bend the line, get it done. Now I need to try to bend this back enough to be able to slide this on and then redo the bend, but when I try to bend it back, I might just ruin the whole thing. I don't know, fellers. Seat post from a bicycle? Maybe. Oh, I think we're gonna get it. If we don't ruin the flare. You know, it's just like everything else in life, right? You do so great for so long or so many times, and then you say or do or, you know, the wrong thing just once. It's like it puts you back to square one. Aha! Okay. Now let's redo that bend with the fitting on. You see how it slipped out of my finger and I caught it? That's what happened the first time. It got away from me and slid right off the end of that line, and then that's what got us into this whole pickle. And then, oh, I need to be thinking here. All right, let's try again. Okay. We're gonna go with that. Hopefully that's not too much. A wise man once said, "There's no such thing as mistakes, just happy little accidents." And it worked. I don't like this gap right here. Maybe we can finagle her and finesse, massage her a little bit closer. Alright, now this is a crucial point, because if we screw up then this is not going to line up and we are doomed. So do we want to try to go down a little and swing her in, kind of like over here, like what we just did? Or do we pretty much just, well, I guess bend her back that way a little bit towards the front and then swing her into the union? Well, I'll be completely honest with you, I'm not really sure. I don't want to be real high up above the axle. I think we're gonna, let's just kind of start heading that way. Kind of judge it as we go. Oh, son of a turkey. This is the dilemma at the moment. We could shoot her in right there. That would work. You would have brakes. But you got this ugly gap. It's like the Mariana Trench. We don't want that. Maybe we should copy this bend. You know, swoop down a little more, and then at the last second, pop her up and in. That would be cooler. It would look cooler. Alright, look. I'm a wild and crazy guy. We're going for it. We're gonna put the extra little piece of effort into this tiny piece of brake line that no one will ever see. But while I'm driving the car, I will know it's there. Okay, this is the last bend to make. Okay, just a little squeeze We need to go more, but we just want to see where we're at. Because if there's not enough room, enough line left after we make this bend to be able to slide the fitting on and flare it, then it was all for nothing. Okay, I think maybe we need, we might need to bend a little bit higher now so we can get the right radius to, we got to judge the radius and the bend and everything to shoot us as straight as we can in here. Okay, check as we go. I think that might shoot us right in, actually. Maybe we should just do a full commit here and just send her home on this bend. Okay, well, no looking back now. Looks like we're right on the money. I gotta use the Sharpie to mark this cut because this is the one that is the most important. We screw this one up, then we're really starting all over. Oh, and don't let me forget to put the fitting on before we do the flare. Scream, hoot, holler, kick, raise a fuss, whatever you gotta do. Do not let me forget. I actually did not do a very good job on this flare. I'm gonna screw that one up a little bit. Not too bad. I guess you'll just have to subscribe to Freeman's Garage, hint hint, wink wink, to make sure you don't somehow miss out on the upcoming video where we do a leak test on this. Alright. This is for all the cat eye marbles. Alright, you just get threaded in there. You don't have to be super tight. And then we will slip you into there. And we will snug you down. I got a real hammer. We'll leave this one unhooked so that we can have, well actually, let's see what happens. I was going to say so we have some wiggle room. But let's just see. Oh, that's gonna be, I think that's gonna be just about right on the money, honey. I'm not calling you honey, by the way. It's a good thing I'm wearing a hard hat. I scooched forward to get a little bit closer to my work area, and I rammed my head right into the sharp corner. Actually, I'm kind of afraid right now it's a little too short, actually. Let me see if I can't maybe persuade it a little bit. Give ourselves an extra. Oh, there we go. Might have got an extra 1/16 of an inch there. Oh, okay. Alright, we're on the money. Close one. Well, possum on a gum bush. It's perfect. Look at the view from back here. I'm happy as a fiddle. Oh, 4.5 inches left on that line we made. I was pretty much bang on, eh? All right, we got one more flare and fitting to do up front here that's left over from a previous. Oh, there's that socket I'm missing. We didn't finish it in the previous video because we had to order a fitting, but we got that now, so let's knock it out. And if I remember right, didn't we? Yeah, we already cut it to length, right? Yeah, she's already cut the length. We just need to file the end down so we can get a nice, perfect flare. Here's a little tech tip. Set your tools in the middle, because I just used it right here, and we're going to need that a little bit later over on that side of the car. And by putting that right there in the middle, that's going to prevent us from going around to that side and then, oh no, we need that. So then we walk around here and we grab it, then we walk around back there and then, Alright, I got the fitting here. Don't want to forget that. It's a 3/8 fitting for a 3/16 line, very important. The exact same size fitting as we just used on that rear brake line. We want the amount of line sticking out to be dead even with the height of the die that we're going to use. Can you hold this for me? There. Thanks. How about your shirt pocket? A lot of times I mention different videos that are on the Freeman's Garage channel. If you go into the video description, anything I mention, I'm going to put down there with links, so it's real easy. You just go down there and then just click on whatever you want. And in fact, I'm going to put a link in the description on this video, and that'll take you to a playlist where all the videos for this car are all in one place. Hold that again. Where do you? Right there? In your pocket protector? I love these pliers. I have no idea how old they are. They're Diamond, made in Duluth, Minnesota. Probably older than me. I've had them for, I don't know, 20 years. A single flare action, looking pretty good. I always say it. I'm prepared to be disappointed in myself. But the thing is, yeah, it works out fairly often. I'm doing the double flare now. Jeez! You gotta be Jimmy Superfly Snuka to crank this down. Okay, we don't want to go too far on that double flare, which I just decided right now, I call them Ric Flares. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at this. That's as beautiful as an Alaskan sunset. Oh my gosh. We're just firing on all 7.5 cylinders right now, aren't we? These brand new brake hoses that we put on up front, they just don't quite fit into the holes here all the way. So I think we could try just filing down the edge. I'd rather not alter a factory hole. If this is Restomod and this is Purist and this is the middle, I would say I'm somewhere over in this range. I would be right here, but I can't live a puritanical lifestyle. But I'm not drilling that hole out. I think we could get this clip out of the way. Circle clip, I don't know, what do you call them? Hopefully a little file action will be enough. Bingo, bango, bongo. Now I just need to repeat it once more on the passenger side. I hope I didn't ruin these snap ring pliers. They're not meant to be used with these, but I can use them because I'm an outlaw. All right, last verse, same as the first. We better throw this dust boot on our brand new Camaro Master Cylinder here, just because I saw it hanging out and it's gonna disappear if we don't do it. Just like the die for the flare tool we were using, that would disappear if we didn't happen to come over here to do this dust boot. So I left her sitting there. Well, what do you know, by golly? I think there's just a few things left and the entire brake system on this 1956 Tri-5 Chevy is completely restored. We need one plug to stick into that union and block off where the factory was sending brake fluid to the rear of the car. We don't need that anymore with our single circuit to dual circuit upgrade. We need 2 push pins, or I guess you could call them wheel cylinder links, for the left rear, and we'll have to find a couple of those in a junkyard somewhere at some point. The only other thing is what's going on with the brake drums. We got 4 of them, but are they any good? This brake drum looks really good. It's nice and smooth. There's no grooves or anything in it. I mean, I can feel a little bit, but I don't think that's gonna damage the brake shoes at all. This is a pretty nice brake drum. If you're hearing a bunch of noise in the background, it just randomly started hailing out of nowhere. I guess that's Tejas for you. This big spring that goes all the way around, that's a kind of a dampener. It helps eliminate harmonic vibrations. I'm very pleased with this brake drum. The bearings and the wheel studs, that's a different topic for a different day. We are going to replace the wheel studs for sure. And I like to replace wheel studs because of a really awesome story I have about wheel studs. Tell that to you sometime. But as far as the old school ball bearings, I think we're just going to repack them and keep them. This is one of the rear brake drums. I don't know which side it came off of. It doesn't really matter. Other than a bunch of sledgehammer marks, on this side it looks fine. I don't see anything that says a minimum thickness though. That's the big key. Can we just clean it up and run it as is, or does it need to go on a lathe and get a new surface done on the inside? And yeah, maybe it could use that. There's no grooves, nothing that's going to destroy the brand new brake shoes, but someone did get their money's worth. Worn down pretty far. It's worn down evenly, but you can see how there's this big edge here. There's an old rule of thumb with brake drums. I don't go by it. I don't say it's right. I don't say it's wrong. I just never found myself really following it. But this line right here, this is called the chamfer. And they say that if the lining of the brake drum, which is this area here, is not worn down beyond, going that way, beyond the chamfer, that the drum's still usable. If your brake drum is too thin, either from just being worn down, or you did put it on a lathe and clean it up, and then it's too thin after removing that material, it can get hot a lot easier and warp on you and not give you good effective braking power. I say if the drum has a minimum thickness marked on it, that you should go by that. And if it doesn't, then It's your judgment call. It's your parts. You do whatever you want. And that's one of the special things about working on old cars like this. You bring a project car home and you can do whatever you want to it. This one's nice and smooth too, and it's got a lot more material on it. Just needs a good cleaning. It's a $15 light, man. This one might have finally taken its last fall. You served me well, but if it's LED, I wonder what actually could break. You know, this might be a video for the Freeman's Garage Extra channel. Oh yeah. This one looks really good too. Lots of material, almost like new. No grooves. Nice and smooth. That'll clean up. Just need one of those big springs to go around. I think all these brake drums need is just a good cleaning and put back into service. But man, does it feel good to get all this stuff done on this car. We're really making some progress. So maybe next time we'll do something other than brakes, but for right now, you could watch the Try 5 video that just popped up on your screen. And me, I'm gonna go sandblast a Chevy bow tie onto this brake drum.